What's going on YouTube? GraveCinder here, and welcome back for episode number 43. Today's actually the 8th, and the date of recording, and the mass transit pre DLC update was released, so I went ahead and I did a video to that. I'm actually going to go ahead and link it as one of the notations in this video, so you guys can check it out in the event that you missed it. But I'm actually pretty excited about the mass transit DLC coming out. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to do a lot of stuff with the mass transit DLC here in this particular city, but we can in the next one, of course, right? So kind of starting with all the equipment as opposed to going back and upgrading and reworking things is a little bit easier, in my opinion, at the very least. But before we begin anything, we're sitting at 5.8 million in the bank. That's money we can spend right away. We have 45,000 incoming per week, and a population of 110,000, which is pretty good actually. And we have a good amount of people moving into the city as well. We do have a pretty good demand for residential. I'm sorry, not residential, but offices or jobs, and small demand for commercial, and small demand for residential. And in the previous episode, I asked you guys what you thought I should put over here in this particular area, and one of you guys recommended that I put in a unique building of some sort. So actually, that is the only suggestion that I got, so that's exactly what I'll go ahead and do, is I'll place a unique building into this this particular area. Before I do that, if you guys didn't watch the mass transit DLC, this tab down here is new, the transport routes, and I did this in that video, but I didn't do it. I didn't save it. I only did it for the purposes of that particular video. And what I'm talking about is reducing the amount of buses that we have in this particular area, or actually anywhere where you can see that we have 55 vehicles and only 19 passengers. Just makes absolutely no sense. Just like this one over here, bus route 16. We have 38 buses and only 5 passengers. So we're reducing that down to 5%. And if you look at the top right, that's where it tells us, right below the title of the route itself, how many vehicles we have. So we have 36 out of 3. That's because we just reduced it down to 5%. But though those buses are going to get taken out of service and put back into the depot. This route over here, I think we're going to be okay with 75%. So that route there is going to go down a little bit. 5 vehicles, 77 passengers. 30 vehicles, 28 passengers. No need for all of those, so we're going to go down to 5%. 27 vehicles, 23 passengers. Definitely not. 28, 32. Most of everything else is doing pretty good. Over here for trams, I'm not gonna worry about trams. Metros. Some routes could benefit from being increased. So like on this particular one, we have 1,300 passengers and only 5 vehicles, 6 stops. So this one we're gonna increase. Let's increase it to 200%. So that's gonna be 9 metros. I think that should be plenty. Let's see, 5 vehicles. Let's give this route an additional vehicle. And this one does not need 8, so let's reduce that down to 25%. Cool. We're good to go there. But as far as everything else goes in the city, everything's doing pretty good. There's really no issues. Before I start building though, we do have that job demand that's pretty high up. And if you guys remember, I mentioned that I was gonna zone this area here with offices. So I'll go ahead and do that now. And just for fun, well, I think this snapping thing is gonna get annoying pretty quick. I'm gonna put in a couple of pathways over here just to kind of split up the area a little bit. There we go. I think that's good enough. Okay, cool. And for this area over here, as far as the unique building goes, I've decided that I'm gonna use the Theater of Wonders. I think that'll look pretty nice right about over here in the center. And how we're gonna put it there is I will show you right now. It's gonna take me a little while to get used to these new grids or grid lines. Up to this point, they're actually a little bit annoying, if I'm just being honest. But I'll get used to them. So see, like this right here, for example, instead of coming down to the first line, I guess to make a full nice even one block, it's jumping over into the grid, which yeah, it's gonna get annoying. All right, so what I intend to doing over here is, if I can figure this out. Maybe I can't figure it out. There we go. Alright, so Theater of Wonders is gonna go right in here. We are gonna make come on, annoying. Alright, that's it. I'm turning some of these off. I think that's the one that we want off. Oh. There we go. Perfect. Alright, how far off was I? Let's just restart. Sorry about that, guys. Just trying to get used to this thing. There we go. So that's 750. Somewhere in the center is going to be right there. So why don't we just do this? Perfect. There we go. Alright, now let's see about getting that Theater of Wonders fitted in here. I think something like that is going to be just a-okay. Kind of like a road to itself. And I will go ahead and extend that out all the way. Perfect, so we have an additional road connection. Around it, I feel like around it, okay. Okay, there we go. Around it, what I would like to do is put, yeah, of course it's gonna mess with me again. I want to put this, this pathway raised, but just like one up. Just like that. I think that'll look pretty cool. And actually, we can even keep it going to there. There we go. I think that's pretty good for now. And over here we can just do that. That doesn't look too shabby. And we can even extend one all the way out to this pathway. There we go. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. We're also going to go ahead and fill this in with high density residential. Maybe a couple of little small office buildings right over here. And this area here mainly I'm just gonna keep kind of open. See if we can maybe make a unique design here. Yeah. I'll keep it. I will keep it, and we'll put two of these plazas in here. There we go. That seems to be nice and symmetrical. Something like that should work. There we go. Perfect. Yep. Maybe a little bit of beautifying won't hurt it, and we'll of course get to that a little bit later, maybe in a time lapse. But for now, we do have a pretty good commercial demand, so I'll go ahead and put in a little bit more commercial. And I'm thinking we can fill that in as commercial there. There we go. All of these, or pretty much all of the offices over here have zones, so let's go ahead and put in the rest of them. We'll put the game on 3-speed. There we go. And we can even add a little bit more. I actually want to fill in this low density residential over here, so we'll just fill it in right away. Cool. Well, I think after all we're gonna have to add that one incinerator right about there, because we were in the yellow, and I noticed that the airport was complaining about garbage collection. One thing I wanted to show you guys real quick. We're actually pretty close to unlocking the business park. We have 18,700 squares of commercial built, and we need 20,000, so that's just 1,300 more. So we're pretty close. and I showed you guys before that we did unlock the achievement for having all of the cemeteries filled in. This area right here. Well, why not? I was just thinking not to add any offices over next to the snow dump, but I think we're gonna be okay. All right. So I think some of these taller trees over here would look pretty nice. There we go, kind of separating the area and isolating the unique building a little bit. There we go. I think that should be just a-okay. Maybe a couple more over here. You know, now that I think about it, this area covered with all the trees and everything might have been a little bit more suitable for a library than the theater there. But oh well, it is what it is. It's there now, and we're not going to be destroying it. Looking into leisure. I think we're gonna need some parks over here on this side, so I'll go ahead and actually I'll place one right there. Should be good. We're gonna go ahead and put some trees over here, that way kids out of the playground don't wander onto the train tracks. Actually, we can do better. We can place rocks. And then we can add some trees. Excuse me. There we go. I think something like that should be just a-okay. Actually, let's just go ahead and fill in this whole area over here. I think that'll look a little bit better. That way we can even call this particular area here completed. Yeah, I like it. Alright, back over here into commercial. We are still having some additional commercial demand. And to satisfy that, let's see, perhaps we can zone some low density right over here in this block. That'll prevent me from having to build more. Just for the time being. I do plan on building more stuff. Alright guys, and then an additional thing that I wanted to do in this episode is add an additional connection from this part of the city over here to say the airport. So if you're somebody wanting to use the airport, you can simply just use a road connection from here to here. And I've actually played around with this just just a little bit, and I think that something like this should work just okay. Kind of like a, well, not kinda, but it is a bridge. And then possibly doing something like that. And let's see if we can also do it on this side. And we cannot because we can if we freeform. Oh, hold on. We now to freeform. I think we have to disable road length. Or no, angle. I think angle. Yeah, angle. We have to disable. There we go. Let's see if we can make this work. That should be okay. And wow, look at all of this traffic coming through over here now. Hopefully, hopefully this wasn't a bad idea. Kind of like the way it looks. A little bit steep. I think. Well, we'll keep it for now. Let's keep it. We'll see what happens if this, for any reason, becomes way too congested. We'll have to think of something else. But I think for now, we should be okay. Again, we'll keep an eye on it. While I was over here poking around in this area, I noticed this area right here that we can use. Actually, let me turn on the guidelines again. There we go. We can use this for additional commercial. I think it'll look pretty good in this particular area here. So something like that, and we can even add park. This park won't fit. What about this one? A playground well. There we go. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of traffic coming through this area, but I think it's a lot of these people are going to the airport, I think. 1,063 people serviced last week. That's a lot of people. Yeah, I think this is good for now. We'll keep it. I know I keep saying it, but I keep looking at it, thinking that that it's gonna get to be a little much. We do have additional demand for residential. So what we'll do is we'll fill that area in. Actually, over here, we'll do that. It's kind of like a little something in the center there too. Just so it's not all high-rise buildings and everything, just a little bit broken up. I have this really annoying tickle in my throat. That's why in this episode there's been several cuts, because I keep cutting the video so I can either cough or just clear my throat, and if I do it on the mic, it's gonna annoy you guys, trust me. We do have additional area of opportunity here, and that is going to be, I'm thinking is going to be for commercial. I am going to add these guidelines here. So we can do something like that, I think. I know it's going to ruin the look, but maybe we can just do that. Perfect. And we'll leave that alone for now. But yeah, we do need, looks like a lot more commercial. So we'll put additional commercial in there. And all around over here for now. And then if we decide to change the area later, we will go ahead and do that. I built a lot of room over here for residential, and I'm even thinking that that I might be turning that into some offices, just like so. We can even add a pathway. Oh, I guess that'll work. I was just following the nodes that were displaying there for me. And then we can do low density. See, now it's doing that. That's really annoying. It really is. Because it keeps defaulting to the center, and it's making it really hard for me to pick the actual road or the square where I want to put the pathway. Again, it's gonna take some time to get used to, but we'll do all of that as commercial. We will do this and this as offices. And we'll see what happens. Have a little abandoned building over here. I find that these single buildings, like this particular one right here, they cause a lot of uneducated worker pop-ups. Yeah. I was just playing around with that new menu. By the way, that's something that we can that I can share with you guys. That's something that was announced in the pre-mass transit update. So you see what I'm doing here? I am I've got this this building right here selected, and I wanted to is that an office? No. Home Improvement Center. I wanted to show me what kind of traffic is coming to this building. So to do that, you would click on this toggle traffic routes view, and you get to select what you want to see. Is there any pedestrians? Yes, there is. Any cyclists? No, I guess not. Private vehicles? Zero private vehicles. Nobody using the public transport, I guess, to get there. Oops. Trucks. We do have deliveries from this cargo train terminal there, coming in here, and no city service buildings coming through here. So same thing applies to pretty much anything in the city. So here you can see this cargo train station. I think the airport would be a good building to select for that. Yeah, so you see right here how these lanes were just changing. There was a pink one, which is a public transport, but for the airport, pedestrians, we have no pedestrians coming through. Cyclists, no cyclists. Private vehicles, we do have plenty of private vehicles coming and going from the airport. Nope. Oh, actually, yes, public transport. They're using the metro trucks. There's definitely some trucks coming to or through the airport, and the city service vehicles. That looks to be one of them. That's a hearse, actually. Yeah. So that's kind of cool, especially if you were trying to determine the cause of traffic jams. So you can you can even do this on a road, I believe. Let me just select. There we go. So this road right here, if you select it, it tells you what vehicles pass through it and where they go, and what kind of traffic it is, which is really cool. So you can see mainly here it's just trucks. We do have some private vehicles, and that's about all. And city service vehicles, mainly all trucks. No public transport because we have the metros going through there. Private vehicles, this is probably people just going to work, which will tell me that they are coming from here. So that tells me now that I should add either a bus route or some sort of a public transport from this area. Maybe a tram stop over here somewhere, so you could take the vehicles over here, because that's people going to work. So that's something. We have. Let me go back to the road. We don't have any cyclists again. They can't get there. No pedestrians, because you can't walk on the highway road. But that's really cool. And guys, I think I'm actually, before we do that, let's check here. That's doing pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna call it an episode. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am for mass transit. There's going to be some really cool things coming to that DLC, and I'm only speaking because I've seen it on PC. If you guys enjoyed this episode, go ahead and give it a like. If you wish to subscribe to the channel and get notified when I upload new videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That also does help my my channel grow, of course. And with that said, guys, as always, have a good time.